All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Power Up with Pride 2022. My name is Corundum Core. You can call me Ruby. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm going to be taking over for the next two runs. So I think we're all ready to set up. So let's just go ahead and throw it over to Yono and the Celestial Elephants with isbullets. And I believe this is reverse boss order. Take it away.
Yep, that is correct. This is Yono and Celestial Elephants. We'll be doing all the bosses in the completely wrong order because this game, has some fun, silly stuff going on and lets you do a lot of shenanigans that we'll be showcasing today. So, with me is Big Law, one of the comfiest speedrunners you'll ever meet.
Hello, it is me. I am Big Law, and I'm here to provide support to B as they go through all the bosses in the complete wrong order.
This is like I said, this is a very skip and tech heavy run, so I will be doing my best to stay on top of everything and explain things. But if you see something that looks weird and looks like it's not intentional, it probably wasn't. So, anyways, I am ready to get started, so we'll be going in 3, 2, 1, go. So we do skip all the story at the beginning here, but we are an elephant from space sent to save everybody. Unfortunately, Yono doesn't like talking with folks too much, so we're gonna go hide in this tree here, sneak around this NPC. There's actually a conversation ahead of us too. She's normally supposed to jump ahead there, and you talk with her a second time, but you can also skip that. Unfortunately, you can't skip this one, so she shouts at you from across the map. But you can keep going. There's a little puzzle here, but if Yono dashes off of an edge, he gets a ton of speed and goes really far, so we can use that to skip that puzzle. And Yono almost goes off the screen just with how much speed we're getting. And we're gonna do one puzzle here, do something intended, and that's the end of the tutorial.
Great job.
We have a few basic mechanics. We have headbutting, which dashes you forward, which saves a frame every time you do it. We have a trunk blast, which can blow things away or interact with different powers that we might pick up. We can lock onto things or spin in circles. But this is Windhill. Windhill, normally you get some water in your trunk and you wake up the monk that's there, but instead we can use this chicken to get on this half slab. And right as we're about to fall off, we can dash onto the bridge and skip all that dialogue. Saves about half a minute. There's another puzzle here that we can kind of sneak around by hugging these bushes over here. And now we're in Hedgehog Forest, which is the first kind of main area outside the tutorial that we're going through. We have this cool snake tunnel here. Yono has a hitbox on his head and his butt, so what we try to do is we try to position it so the snakes aren't either side of him, so we can hit both of them. Normally this key is supposed to go in that key lock, but if you use this pot, you're actually able to get to that same room it would take you in. One of the big things we're going to do during this run is sequence breaking keys. So we're not supposed to have this key right now. We're supposed to solve a puzzle in this room to get a key. So we can just use this key and leave right now. We could just walk out right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to come back. I'm actually going to make a save here because this skip is a little spooky. And we can launch ourselves into the air, get onto the out of bounds team. And instead of doing the puzzles, we're going to grab this key here. But it's blocked by fire, so we have to ride the key that gets launched out of here to get back over. So we took a lot of damage there, so I'm going to actually kill this enemy. He didn't drop any health, of course he didn't. It's random if an enemy is going to drop health when you kill them, so unfortunately RNG can be a little bit rude sometimes. And now we're on very low health. If you die, you get sent to a little train station where you can travel back to one of the checkpoints you've gotten to. So we don't want to have to do that. That's gonna knock our progress back a decent bit. And as you saw there while I was explaining that, you can use keys as little portable elevators or ramps you can bring places. So if you ever have to get up places and you have a key, you can kind of use it to boost up a little bit extra. So again, we're not supposed to have this key right now. Normally there's a key on top of that rock that you use to open this door. And if you bring a key into a room that already has a key, certain rooms will just not spawn the key. So if we come back, the key magically just reappears and we're gonna take it with us. So the entire reason of sequence breaking a key out and bringing it all this way is that Hedgehog Forest ends with one final puzzle that takes multiple rooms of puzzle solving to do. So instead of doing that, we're going to just use the key here and walk out without doing it. The unfortunate thing with sequence breaking for any item is we go from Hedgehog Forest and we're gonna go to a place called Nightingale City. If we go from here to there, any items we have on our back disappear, so you can't sequence break things between different areas and do stuff like that. So unfortunately, there's a limit to some of the broken things we'll be doing, but not too much. So this is reverse boss order, and this is the main hub of the game. This is actually where the end of the game is. So we need to go beat the final boss right now. What we're gonna do is, if you wedge yourself between some of the geometry in certain parts of these levels, you can use it to boost yourself up. Unfortunately, Yono is not going to play nicely, so I'm going to quickly reopen the game, which sometimes gets him to be... There we go, see? That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, all you gotta do. Easy as that.
So this is actually the exit from the final dungeons. Normally you head this way and you go up the elevator there, which means there's a little ramp here. So we can't actually get up here normally. So we're gonna do another little cheeky boost here. And now we're entering the final boss room from the reverse side, which is why it just kind of like bounces around and looks at us weirdly. So he's got 3 phases. First phase is dynamite. And now we have a big dynamite. If you grab the dynamite as it's exploding, you get the dynamite a little bit faster than you normally would, and it also grows very, very big. It doesn't do any more damage, it just looks bigger, which is worthwhile. So we're gonna make him break all his armor. He's gonna go through this 3rd phase here. We're gonna steal that chili pepper through the wall for the first hit, because it puts us on a nice cycle where he hits us with the crossbow as we're grabbing the chili pepper, so it will knock us out of the animation if he hits us. I'm gonna dash right at the end here. If I don't do that dash, you actually get stuck during that cutscene and can't grab the health during it, so you have to waste a little bit of time afterwards. So this is a queen we've never met before. All these other people we've also never met before. They're having a big old conversation that we're gonna mash through. And now the end of the game's been unlocked, so we can just go to the end right now, but we have 2 more bosses to kill. So we're going to head out of here, talk with the guy that's outside of the dungeon, and that'll set us up to be ready to beat the game once we choose to, but we're not going to do that yet. So there's 2 more bosses. It'll actually be a little bit before we fight any of the other bosses. The other ones also have their own dungeons, and unlike that dungeon, there is not a convenient exit we can walk through. So we do have to actually go through them, though there's plenty of skips we'll be doing. One thing I've not mentioned actually is every time you enter an area, you can do these double dashes. You'll see I kind of like jolt forward whenever I enter a new area. Normally dashing, like I said, saves a frame, but that's because of the slowdown afterwards. And if you notice when I dash at the beginning there is no slowdown, so it speeds you up a little bit. But yeah, this is Troll Moss. Again, they gave us a key, which is a big mistake, so we're going to use this to boost over the gate and bring it with us. And just kind of zoom through. We're actually not going to sequence break this key for very long. We're just going to use it here and leave, which enters into the trap tunnel here, which, as you might expect, has lots of different traps. Getting off cycle on this can be a little spooky. Avoid this. Awesome. Taking half heart is about as good as you can hope for. Normally use a barrel to block these shots, but if you dash right as the shot is coming in, it actually will stop you from taking damage sometimes, but more importantly, it'll stop you from taking the knockback. Alright, we're going to do a little cheeky skip here. Normally you can't get on top of this half slab, but if you, for whatever reason, I actually don't know the reasoning for how it works there, but it kind of pops you up a little bit higher if you're falling off the side there and then dash towards it, rather than if you're just dashing towards it sort of normally from solid ground. Also, I wiggled my head inside of that barrel there, and the game now thinks it's full of stuff, because at one point it was full of Yono's head, and that's good enough for the game. So instead of filling the bucket with water, we can just temporarily put Yono inside the bucket. This is kind of a spooky combat here. Oops, I accidentally got both of them angry, which is not great. This isn't good. This is unfortunate. Okay, we're good. They do a lot of damage. There's these health upgrades we can get during the run, but we don't because it's slow. But that means we have 4 HP the entire run, and it's not great. The skip kind of...
Do you mind if I jump in for a quick question?
Sure.
Is it possible to put on the Link tunic mid-run?
It'd be a little difficult to...
Okay.
Oh, did we forget? Oh no.
We might have forgotten it a little bit.
Oh no!
It would take me a second to edit the save to put it on.
You know what? It's worth the time save the people or the time loss the people donated for it.
Okay.
Whenever you have a chance to do it.
Let me save right here, and I actually have to. So normally you buy it. So I actually have to edit the save very, 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 very quickly.
It's not cheating if it's for charity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let me grab it. Where did I put it? There it is. Copy. Open.
Now, if you thought Yono was cute, just wait till you see the tunic on.
Yeah. See, speaking of tunic, everyone stick around for the next run, which is tunic. It's going to be a wonderful run. It's going to be great. You guys are going to enjoy it.
Well,
So anyways, this is Yono with the tunic on. Here you go. Okay.
That's lovely.
Sorry about that. I completely forgot. I should double check that before we started. But thank
That's
you all
okay.
for that. I appreciate all the donations and everyone supporting Trevor Project. Very important.
Very good cause.
So we're gonna do tilting. So, you know, me forgetting to put the outfit on was pretty tilting, wasn't it? So we're gonna actually do some tilting in the game. So if Yono dashes off of a ramp or other objects kind of like that, Yono starts to get tilted more and more and more, and then launches in the air after you unwind the tilt. And that's gonna be used a decent bit for the rest of the run. In certain places where you need to get around objects and we don't have a key handy or anything like that. Unfortunately, this category used to not kill any of the snowmen, but we do have to kill this one because it makes a sick ramp to just kick off of and get over there and activate that. So, unfortunately, rest in peace.
So sad.
Singular snowman. All the categories for the game for the longest time, for years and years, no snowmen were harmed. But here we are. Anyways, we have our key back again, so everything's fine. So you see there's a keyhole there. We're gonna ignore that. We're just gonna throw it on top of it. We don't need to use the keyhole. It's like mildly small bit faster to just not use it on the keyhole. It's very silly. We can also weasel our way by the snowman. Instead of melting them, we just kind of sneak by wedging through the bush. Also, we get these cute little cutscenes anytime we go on the rail network.
No.
So every time we go to a rail station, it'll unlock all the ones before it. So we went to the furthest rail station that exists, and then we can now use that to teleport back to earlier ones, like this one, which is the second boss. So this is the robot hub, all the fun robot folks. We have a cool little skip here. You can use this elevator to boost our way over that and skip some of the other puzzles we have to solve. We need to knock that balloon so that we can get the key off of it. We can also hit the snake over here because we need some health. I missed the snake somehow. The snake stood completely still and I missed. That's on me. Snakes aren't really dangerous in this game, they're just kind of annoying. But they always give health, which is nice.
They're also kind of cute.
If we do have any donations or anything to plug, this is probably a good time as we're starting to get into the robot area.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a donation from Hug_Dispenser, fantastic name. They donated $10 and said, "Happy Pride. Thanks for being you." And a little, I think it was supposed to be a Yono emote from the Discord.
Thank you very much, Jesse, for that. I appreciate that. All right, we're gonna use this key to... So we need to get 3 different gears, and One of the puzzles, there's 3 different paths that, actually I have to reload this because it's very time sensitive. But there's these 3 different gears you have to get and 3 different branching paths to get them. One of the branching paths lets you get a key really quickly, and as long as you don't use the key on a keyhole, it keeps respawning. So what we'll just do is we're gonna use that key 3 different ways. We're gonna keep getting the key and then despawning it to intentionally keep using it over and over again as a little ramp to get places. For this first one, we're just gonna get this balloon. If you fall in the water, when Yono has a power up like the peanut that we had, Yono moves a little bit slower, but if we fall in the water, the peanuts just disappear. It's a magic trick. So this is one of the 3 gears. You have to be very careful not to use it too early, because then you'll just throw the gear in the water behind there and you have to re-get it, and that's not fun. Don't do it. I've definitely never done that before.
Never, ever, ever.
Never, ever. So we're gonna use this key for the 2nd time now. We're gonna go to this other path over here, and we're again gonna use it as a little cheeky ramp. We're actually gonna use it 2 different ways here. We have a fun little creative way that this came up with. This major made this route initially, and this is one of the cool things you can do. You can throw a key on here, and normally objects only like solid objects of this will block ice blocks from moving, but if you put the key at the exact, like perfect, like parallel angle to it, it'll stop this and you don't have to do any of the pushing block puzzles, which is great because I'm not good at puzzles. This is a puzzle game, and I've been motivated to skip all of it by being bad at puzzles. That's the 2nd gear, and we're actually gonna come back there because I know I just said we're gonna keep using that 1 key over and over again, but there's also a key. Oh, hello. Yono.
Yono!
So you have to like kind of dash through this trap here, and timing's a little bit funky. So sometimes you take a lot of hits, sometimes you just bonk off of it, and sometimes Yono just passes through without getting hurt at all. It's magical. But ooh. Oh, my hitbox is broken. So Yono's hitbox can get broken, and then when you dash into things, normally you would knock stuff off of it like this, but he just kind of doesn't. It happens if you run into too many walls. It just, Yono will simply stop bonking off of walls. Yono will say no thank you to that anymore. But yeah, we're gonna bring the key over here instead of the key that normally would be in this room. Now we're gonna do some very silly skip. We're gonna go out here, walk on the out of bounds scene, and jump on down here, and then we're gonna weasel our way through here, grab the gear, throw it in here, and then jump in the water.
Sploosh.
And then our way is blocked to get back, so we're actually use the gear as the extra little boost to get back. I'm gonna bonk this because some health would be nice, and I didn't get any health. Absolutely scammed. I'm upset. We have all the gears. But for old time's sake, one more time, let's do the same puzzle.
Woo!
To get the key again. Actually, if you do the puzzle too quickly, the key just gets stuck on one of the magnets, and you have to leave the room and come back. Speedrunner's favorite mechanic of getting punished for going too fast. All right, so we have to not get hit by this by doing a little cheeky wiggle. I think these fires here can do like 2 hearts of damage, so we don't want to run any of these. This is not a very safe factory, by the way. They have just like open flames like everywhere, and they have like pipes where if you stand on pressure plates, they will just shoot out flames at you. Like, this is not a very safe working environment for the robots. So, but the entire reason of bringing the key with us is we can. Oops, I almost fell off the edge, which would have meant lots of backtracking. There's a big old puzzle here. And like I said, I don't like puzzles, so we just sequence break a key out and we bring with us. We don't have to do the puzzles. By the way, if this game looks cool and you want to do the puzzles, this isn't really spoiling too much for you. So you can go and enjoy it. It's on Switch and on PC, so it's a good game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's been out for a little bit, but it's definitely a labor of love. Nicholas Holland did a very good job with it. My hitbox is broken again! You remember tilting from before? We're gonna do it again, but we're gonna do even bigger tilt. Gonna get in this corner.
Yono shall ascend.
Yono! Okay, thank you, Yono.
Woo!
There was a second where Yono was not playing by the rules. Let's get some health here. Alright, second boss. This is the robot dog fight. So normally you give the dog the ball and then he throws it at you and you get hit and that's all that happens. But you'll notice as he does a flip, we just grab the ball back from him. Unfortunately, we can't just throw it right back at him again. We have to wait for him to throw it. And even though it's not on his back or not on his mouth, he will still throw it. And if it's on your back, he will throw it out of bounds and you can't get it back anymore. And he will just slowly walk out of bounds and never return. It's very good. It's very fun. It's very silly. So we're just gonna leave him there. He gets to keep his ball. And we're done with this area. So we're gonna talk with this guy. He has a very low chance of not teleporting you back, but he's gonna do it this time. Thank you. After you're done talking with him, he teleports you back. But because our story progress is a little funky because we beat the last boss first, sometimes it gets a little bit lost in the sauce and does not do what it's supposed to do. So this is Sundergarden. You better remember we walked through here. We're back now. This is where the first boss is. Oh, nice. I got this skip. If you talk with this guy during this cutscene, you just can walk right around it. The only downside is your camera's now stuck. Don't worry, it'll get fixed in a second. There we go. But yeah, this is the crypt. This is the first dungeon, and I guess the last dungeon for this run. And that should be the longest dungeon, I believe. It should be the longest dungeon. So, we're gonna start it off by doing some fun tilting. Right. Oop, nope. Yono does not want to tilt right now. There we go.
Come on, Yono. Third time's a charm.
A little bit awkward. But I was talking about how you kind of unwind tilts. A nice thing you can do is you can kind of buffer it a little bit by doing the little trunk blast, so you don't have to like press both the D-pad directions at the same time to get them to go the opposite direction and launch in the air. So you kind of get a little bit of a grace period for it, which makes it a lot easier to do. We have this fun skip here called Door's gonna close, and we're gonna walk through it anyways. Yono is magical, celestial even. So, stop me if you've heard this before. We have a key in a room we're not supposed to have it in. You know what's better than one key?
Two
keys. You know what's
Hey,
better
you know
than
what's
two
real fun?
keys?
What's better than 2 keys?
Yono just bouncing for no reason, and then teleporting.
Wow.
So I asked Nicholas Holland, who's the main developer, pretty much the sole developer for this game, like, hey, why does this happen? I believe his immediate response was, I don't know. It probably is just sending you back to the origin of the level. But it works consistently. It'll just send you there. Yono just kind of teleports. It's good stuff. So by leaving and coming back, the bucket stays filled, but it goes all the way back up here, so we don't have to use the elevator. And we can kind of do a cheeky little push there and push in a direction it's not supposed to go. And with some good aiming, we can get both the fires down in one.
Very nice.
But this entire area, as you've seen, is a lot of light puzzles. A lot of either turning on lights or putting out lights, or just there not being a lot of lights. Don't ask why it zooms in on that coffin after you finish there. I don't know why either. You just have to stop that ice block from running the pressure plate so the bridge doesn't move away and save a little bit of time. Same thing with this. This is a big ice block pushing puzzle, and we can just use our keys to save us the hassle of actually thinking and using our heads a little bit, because I'm not a big fan of that personally. So, going to use the key one more time to do a sliding block puzzle. Grab this here. This over here. So we do. I know I mentioned before you don't normally have like 2 keys in a room. No. But some rooms are weird. They kind of do their own thing. What's another turn of phrase for it? They do whatever they want. The rooms are not coded consistently in terms of how they handle keys. That is the better way of explaining it. But we're gonna bring another key with us. Savade's been doing a lot of extra routing through this game, and a lot of the tricks you've seen and will be seeing in this area are because of their work on this. So if you are interested in learning a run for this, we do have plenty of folks that know a lot about Yono and are happy to sit down and help out with that. I don't know why I brought this key. Goodbye, key. Into the pit you go.
No.
But the entire reason of doing this is we need to get a little lantern here and bring it with us so that we can go across the water. There's not a way that we know currently, unfortunately, to get across the water without the lantern, but that would be a very big time save if we could. So maybe one day. Maybe we'll have a run soon that we can do that. But for now, we do actually have to do things correctly and bring the lantern, and we're just gonna ignore the boat. Goodbye, boat. See you later. We'll be back in just a tiny bit. So we do need to bring this key with us, and normally this boat ride takes a very long time to go and come back, and it is going to take a long time to go and come back. This key saves so much time, it is worth it just to wait for this boat to come back. So, while we're waiting here, this is a great time for any donations, any plugs, anything you want to say at all.
Yeah, so really quick, we are supporting the Trevor Project for this event. The Trevor Project is the leading national organization providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning youth. You can check them out at www.thetrevorproject.org to access their services, find out more about their impact, or to donate.
And we're spinning. Thank you very much for that. And thank you everyone for supporting. Sorry again about the incentive. I completely blinked in my brain, but we've got it now. It's not about... Wait, it's about the journey. Wait, never mind. It is about the journey. Don't care about what I'm saying. Anyway. So, long boat ride aside, we now have a key. We're over here. The boss is soon. So this is why you brought the key. This right here. This one lock right here. So this puzzle here takes like 2 seconds to do. Not 2 seconds. Take like 5 seconds to do. But the important thing is now we have a key, and we're not supposed to have a key. Again, stop me if you've heard this before. So there's a long sliding block puzzle here. Even if you do tilts and other things to skip it, or skip portions of it, it still is very hard and takes a while. And instead of doing all that, you can just use the key and skip it and save a lot of time. We have a bit of a finicky skip right here. We're gonna try to grab this chest without melting the ice block and not fall down. And do one final cheeky little boost here with the key. That'll be the last one for the rest of the run. We're closing in on the end of the run. Actually, we have this final boss right here. And this boss, all you have to do is drop some boxes on him. Little skeleton dude. Drop some boxes on him. Put out the fires. And that's pretty much how the run goes, but you'll notice I'll be taking a lot of hits during this. So this boss has some funkiness with it, where if you complete the boss normally, and you saw at the end of the robot dog fight, we talked to someone, we got sent back. This fight also has something like that, but if we do that, it actually resets our story progress to having only beaten this boss, so we have to kind of do some silliness to avoid that happening. Unfortunately, oh, there we go, we got it, cool. So you want to die as the boss is dying for speed's sake, but as long as you die after the death animation started, you're fine. So the boss will stay dead. Oops, why am I over here? I don't know why. The boss will stay dead, but unfortunately we do have to do a death warp, and unfortunately we have to do a second death warp. Because when you die in a boss room, it sends you back to like a predetermined checkpoint, so you don't have to walk all the way back. But if you die outside of the boss room, it sends you back to the real network. So we have to keep repeatedly launching ourselves off
This
the
is-
same glitch.
This is so sad. Yono doesn't deserve this.
Oh no. So we're gonna go back to Nightingale City for the final time in our little cute rail car. And we are heading to the Elephant Realm to finish the game off with. I don't have too much more to say. We're just gonna kind of go talk with our elephant friends for a little bit. Like I said, this game's really cool. There's lots of categories. If you don't want to run something that's 30 minutes long, there's a 3-minute category. There's like a 15-minute category. There's lots of different category lengths. Also, you normally shouldn't be able to move during this. I dashed onto it so I can spin during this. And you can do one last little silly thing where you, there we go. You start the cutscene again, and Yano just kind of floats off screen.
Well,
There he goes. Goodbye, Yano.
bye, Yono. Good seeing you.
These are the celestial elephants. And that's time. And there goes Yano.
Ah!
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Hope everyone enjoyed. And yeah, have a good rest of the marathon. Tunic is coming right up after this. Tunic is a really, really cool run. Definitely stick around for that. A lot of fun. You all have a very great time with that.
All right, thank you so much for that incredible reverse boss order run that we had. Coming up next, like Bullets said, we have a very, very exciting Tunic run. We're going to get that set up, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of a spoiler really quick. You're going to want to stick around for this, not only for Ori Sky's incredible running, but also for a really good commentary team. See y'all then.